Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the four-card fights for UFC 265, Luque versus Gane. So without further ado, let's get to our first fight on the card and the first fight that I'll be predicting. So in our first fight, we have in the bantamweight division, Munoz Jr. versus Simmons. And how I see this one, Munoz Jr. is taller, longer reach. And I feel like he just has a better skill than just a more fleshed out fighter. I feel like Simmons got a little bit of wrestling, got decent passable grappling, a little bit of pop in his punches, but he just can't connect the dots. And I also feel like he's a little bit undersized and probably should fight at flyweight or maybe pack on a little bit more muscle or something. But either way, I feel like he needs a good bit more work before he's really UFC caliber. As of right now, I don't think he's UFC caliber and going to stick around. I feel like Munoz should be a step ahead and be able to win this fight everywhere. I think he stops him like late in the second round. So in this one, I got Munoz Jr. via second round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the women's flyweight division, Leonardo versus Melissa Gatto. And how I see this one right here is, I don't really feel like Leonardo really has any edge over Gatto at all. Like at all. I think grappling goes to Gatto. Striking is really a toss-up, but I feel like it don't want to take much to really have better striking than Leonardo. I don't think her striking is at all good, more poor than anything. So if Gatto's been working on her striking, she should have the advantage here. And also just by having any real advantage, like a significant advantage, is going when you got the confidence and you can be comfortable in one area because you have the advantage in the area which you will have in big lows and in grappling, especially BJJ. It will allow her to be more confident, allow her to work on other areas of her game because she's not worried about anything Leonardo has to bring from pillow hands, terrible striking, overall mediocre fighter. So, yeah, I'm going to lead Melissa Gatto in this one to be able to like mix up on the feet, drag to the ground, and tap her out in the first round. So in this one, I have Melissa Gatto via first round submission. Now to our next fight we have in the bantamweight division, Munoz Jr. versus Anderson dos Santos. And how I see this one right here, I just seen like what dos Santos, I have seen the tendency for him to be out-grappled, or at least out-positioned by, better wrestlers. Like, let's see, Nad Armani was one. Just going to name that one. And I feel like Munoz Jr. has the wrestling advantage in the one. Dos Santos will have the jiu-jitsu advantage, but Munoz Jr. has pretty solid submission defense. So I feel like he'll be able to outstrike dos Santos, mix it up, and, have the wrestling advantage in the dictate whether this fight goes to the ground. I feel like dos Santos will have the best chance to get it to the ground. I mean, he could get like one takedown in here, one decent takedown. But I feel like overall, Munoz Jr. is going to be the one that's really dictating the pace of the wrestling and whether the fight goes to the ground or not. And matter of fact, I'm going to say he really will shut him down in the wrestling. Be able to win the top position, land the heavier shots. And like I said, mix it up better, control whether the fight goes to the ground or not. I'll strike him, score takedowns, control for top position, land ground and pound. But still a very competitive, tight fight. But I think Munoz Jr. is able to eke it out like with volume, the more significant, like the more, as far as number-wise, more significant strikes. And as far as the true, the heavier, cleaner shots, I feel like will be landed by Munoz Jr. And a significant factor will be the takedowns in the top control time. It might not be a lot. Like, he might not be able to take him down, lay on him for 4 minutes, but a minute or 2 minutes in a close fight, or a minute, 2 minutes or less in a close fight, and maybe like 6 or 7 minutes overall, will definitely be a significant factor in a close fight. So in this one, I have Munoz Jr. via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the flyweight division, Kape versus Osbourne. So in this fight right here, Osbourne is a little bit longer. I think he's a little bit younger, like 1 year younger. Got like 2 inches of height and like 4 inches of reach, or 4 or 5 inches of reach. So very significant on Osbourne's side, but I feel like the experience on Kape's side is more significant. I feel like he has better reflexes. I feel like he has better wrestling. And so like better reads, better reflexes, more experience. And I feel like it's going to be more of a factor than the height and reach of Osbourne. And I feel like they both have similar flaws and similar strengths. Both like to keep their hands down to an extent. Osbourne at times might like to lift his arms up, but most times he kind of keeps his hands kind of low. They don't check leg kicks the best, or really look to check leg kicks. Kape a lot of times like to counter leg kicks with like punches and stuff. But yeah, they both got similar stuff. But I'm gonna lean to Kape's experience. He's been a champion in major organizations, for world champions time and time again. And Osbourne's level of competition just has not been the same. You could say he fought Brian Kelleher, but he got submitted real quick. And you could say, oh, he knocked out Jerome Rivera. I mean, matter of fact, you're never going to say Jerome Rivera because Jerome Rivera is not a really... he got the high-level skills, but not high-level performance and definitely a low-level chin. But either way, gives Osbourne... we look at his performances. He got tapped up real quick by Brian Kelleher, came in on short notice. Then he fought Jerome Rivera. I feel like, if I'm remembering correct, I think that was short notice as well, but got a quick submission loss and a quick knockout loss. So you can't really judge his skill set to the best. Whereas Kape, he has, two semi-close decision losses. He had two real close decision losses, actually. And over higher level competition. Like Pantoja has been, fought the best in this division. And he dominated the current champion, Moreno, twice. So he's been in there with some real tough guys and gave him tough outings. But yeah, I think experience is going to be a big factor. And Kape has definitely fought better competition overall and in general. But Brian Kelleher is at a bigger weight class, like 135, sometimes 45. But can't really hold that too much against him. But either way, I think similar styles. But Kape's boxing a little bit more clean, got a little bit more arsenal. And experience, better time and better reflexes and make better reads of the situation. It's going to allow him to land the heavier shots. And also, Osbourne's offensive wrestling isn't the greatest, so it's going to be a striking match. He's not going to really have to worry too much about other areas. So it's going to allow him to let his hands go a little bit more, be a little bit more comfortable. And also, with his back against the wall, he's going to be aggressive. So it's not going to be a case of he's going to be out there just letting the rounds go by. He's going to be active, be sharper, land the cleaner shots. I think he has heavier hands. And it's going to factor all into him getting a decision in a close, competitive back-and-forth fight. So in this one, I had Kape via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the women's strawweight division, Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus Jessica Penne. And how I see this fight right here going is, I really thought Penne, I still think Penne has a good chance, if she is to win, to be able to make these interesting, what they call them, like scrambles, and I wouldn't call them scramble, but create grappling exchanges in weird situation, like against the cage, like you got her against the cage, she'll jump on you, kind of latch on you, try to a full guard against the cage, like you'll have her against the cage and she'll jump on you and latch her legs around you. You try to get an underhook, she'll jump around and try to take your back off the cage. So some interesting stuff, but I feel like a lot of stuff against Lupita Godinez just been raw and amateurish. I feel like she still could get some advantages against Karolina. She's definitely the better grappler, definitely the better BJJ practitioner. And you definitely don't want to see, if you're picking Karolina, which I am, you don't want her to see Karolina getting put on her back, because that'd be a very bad night for her. If Penne's able to score trips and get her down to the ground. But Penne's takedown offense isn't the best. I think she only averaged one true takedown a fight. And really in the fight with Lupita Godinez, most times Godinez was this really just one arm deadlift, slamming her on the ground, and then following her to the ground, and that was creating the situation. Or she would go for the underhook against the cage and take her to the cage, and then so really a lot of Godinez initiate these situations, whereas if she could have stood at middle, she probably would have just won a decision against Penne, or maybe stopped her, but she kept going to the cage. And I feel like Karolina definitely wants to avoid the cage as most as possible, or at least get double underhooks and not single underhook. That's what she needs, to get double underhooks, not single. And yes, you could try to jump for guard, but you could just wiggle her off and disengage. It's not like a standing full guard is, oh, I got you my actual guard, because you could easily just shimmy your arms out and thrust down, and she be off you and just swim right out of that. But either way with this one, I feel like Karolina Kowalkiewicz is doing the right stuff. I've seen her train with Jan. I've seen her training with Joanna. I've seen her train the positions real well. And I feel like Penne's going to be a spectator. That's what you do in any camp. You don't come out there and just train oh, I'm not fighting this person. You're going to train for who you're fighting for. But I feel like Karolina is doing the right steps. And I feel like experience is certainly a big thing. With Godinez, it was amateurish, not amateurish, but rookie mistakes she made out there that I don't think Karolina will make. And I don't think Penne, the offensive, as far as dragging the fight to the ground herself, is all that high at a higher level. Her wrestling could use a lot of work. It's not like she's out there scoring singles and doubles or body lock takedown on people. Most times the people themselves initiating the grappling, she's just finding ways to shift it to her momentum. So I feel like in this fight, Karolina should just stick to striking, and I think she will win this one. I think she'll outvalue him, outwork her. The stats reflect that. But again, it's a lot going into this one. But I feel like Karolina's in the right, in the right mindset, doing the right stuff. So I'm gonna lean to her to be in there prepared and not play, or at least allow the fight to play the Penne style, be to avoid a lot of grappling changes, and just make it as much of a striking match as possible, and to be able to grit out a decision over Penne, and still a very close uncomfortable fight. So in this one, I got Karolina Kowalkiewicz via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the light heavyweight division, Ed Herman versus Alonzo Menifield. And how I see this one right here is Menifield has a lot of power, a big, strong dude with a very solid takedown defense and ever-improving grappling. Like Ed Herman's like 40 years old, fading, and has long since been fading. He has some little bit of resurgence here and there, but I feel like he can't get this fight to the ground or going to have great issue getting this fight to the ground. If he does try to force getting to the ground, he's probably going to blow his back out or get thrown around like a feather. Doing feet, very chinny. Defense has never been the best. I feel like his best chance is to make it like a dirty smother fight, try and land elbows, step in knees, use a clinch, but I feel like that's all that's going to bring him closer to the power of Menifield. And I don't think he'll be able to take the power of Menifield at all at this point. Even in his prime, probably wouldn't be able to take the power of Menifield. But yeah, I feel like his best advantages are the clinch and grappling, but grappling almost like I don't really see him getting to the ground at all. Don't see him, if he does get to the ground, it's going to be on his back. I don't see him being that effective off his back with jiu-jitsu. And I think, I think he's going to be meeting that power of Menifield. I say a lot, but he's going to be running into that power of Menifield a lot in this fight because all his best opportunities, I feel, are in close. Whether it be able to score a takedown, be on top, or in the clinch, being dirty, landing knees and elbows in the clinch. But again, it's going to be running to punching power. And I feel like Menifield, he's not going to be able to take that power. Menifield's going to be able to touch him up. I feel like he's going to try to walk for a little bit, going to walk into a punch, be on his little stilts and skates, backpedaling back, and then Menifield's going to walk him down and knock him out probably within like 3 minutes of that first round. So in this fight, I have Alonzo Menifield via first round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the bantamweight division, Draco Rodriguez versus Vince Morales. And how I see this fight right here going is, I'm leaning to Draco Rodriguez. I'm not going to do a whole lot of backstory on this one. It's yes, they have MMA math on Vince Morales' side. He's 1-0 against Ayman Zahabi, and Draco Rodriguez is 0-1 against Ayman Zahabi, and he got knocked out, and Vince Morales won a decision over him. But I think styles make fights and momentum. Well, it's not, none of them got momentum at this moment, but I feel like styles make fights, and I feel like Draco Rodriguez just got caught. It wasn't like it was a lucky shot. He got caught clean. He got set up for it, and he got caught with overhand by Ayman Zahabi. But I feel in this fight, Draco Rodriguez, style-wise, he's going to work and improve on that area and patch it up. And just with his pressure and his volume, and also grappling advantage. I feel like Vince Morales' grappling advantage, grappling isn't the best defensively. Because I seen in his Contender Series fight, he got pressured. He even hurt the dude with a counter shot and was able to end the first round on that. But in the second round, dude pressured him again. Like, matter of fact, in the first round, most of that round, he was allowing dude to pressure him without much give back. And then when he did hurt him, he almost did finish the fight. But in the second round, even though the guy was hurt, he allowed the guy to pressure him again. Like, he don't do the best with pressure. He likes to fight on the back foot a lot. And it's not like he's the greatest fighter on his back foot. He's definitely not. So that's a bad tendency to fight on your back foot unless you just like Floyd Mayweather or some Mighty Mouse or some guy that's actually really good at fighting your back foot. Most times you're going to end up on the decision because y'all landing closer to the same amount of strikes. And on your back foot, you typically aren't landing the more heavy strikes. You're typically landing lighter strikes. So you got to be a little bit more loose. You can't be going 50-50 with nobody. You got to be stick, move, bat, boom. You can't touch him. Like, you got to be a ghost out there. And Vince Morales is definitely not a ghost, definitely touchable. And on top of that, going backwards, you open up the opportunities for, if that's somebody gets you going straight back for easy takedowns. So I feel like Draco Rodriguez is going to be able to land shots, put him on his back foot. And like I said, in the Contender Series, he got put on his back foot easily in that fight. And then the second round, even though after it hurt him and almost stopped in the first round, let him do it again. And then dude was able to get a takedown on him, take his back and tap him out like without much issue. So showing definitely some lack of grappling, like a grappling deficiency. And I felt Rodriguez is the better wrestler, the better grappler, even though Vince Morales is supposed to be this and that. A lot of these guys, I think somebody saying he's actually the cousin of Ricky Simone and he was a state champion and Ricky Simone a state champion. But we both seen both of those guys kind of trash as far as wrestling and grappling and MMA. But a lot of state champions be that way. Like, I think even Melvin Gillard and who else was it? Yeah, Melvin Gillard definitely was a state champion. And look how much of a grappling was a deficiency for him. So you got to take that with a grain of salt. But either way, I feel like Draco Rodriguez is going to be to pressure him. He's not going to give him much issue with that. Still pretty close fight, but I feel like Draco Rodriguez is going to land the heavy shots and consistently put him on the back foot. Then in the second round, he's going to be able to crack him, land some big shots, levels change, take him down or drop him. And then from there, capitalize and submit him. Like, just work him on the ground, submit him in the second round. So in this fight, I have Draco Rodriguez via second round submission. Now to our next fight, we have in the lightweight division, Rafael Fiziev versus Bobby Green. in the lightweight division, how I see this one going is, I feel like Bobby Green is a very slick, very talented fighter, but his issue is going to continue to plague him throughout his career. I feel like he really should still be on a winning streak right now, but it's just how it is. Like when you fight on the back foot a lot, and you kind of waiting for these good shots, you kind of out there so relaxed that you not realize it's not like a fight to the death or a fight with, a boxing match with like 15 rounds or 12 rounds or anything like that. You got 3 rounds and 15 minutes. So you fight on a limited time. Like, yes, that might work over time, just like some jiu-jitsu styles might work better over time. Like if this was no limit or longer limits, like you could let the guys come out there and just throw these big shots and look like these big apes and look like these Wolverines, look like these guys that's come out here so vicious and wasting so much injury and come with so much tension. You just stay out there, stay smooth, stay calm. You're not spending no energy. And they get tired and you start to walk them down, pepper them up with the jabs later on. But in a 15-minute fight, you can't really do that as much. Even in a 25-minute fight, you can't do that as much as you would do in boxing. Like, you can't just, like, say in boxing, sit on the ropes, let somebody go to your body a little bit, look at them, rope a dope. You're gonna look like the dope on the rope because you don't got enough time for them to really play a factor. You gotta press them down, or you gotta do some stuff that's gonna play dividends quicker, like land some real heavy body, some knees or something. And I don't know, but either way, activity gotta be a little bit more. And Bobby Green's not bad activity, but does fight on the back foot a lot. Doesn't use the wrestling as much as he should. Like say Barboza, you saw how much Khabib and Kevin Lee did to Barboza, and wrestlers in general did against Barboza. But he didn't wrestle in that case. I don't think he's going to have the best wrestling in this fight. And Fiziev's wrestling and defense is improving a lot as well. But to get to this point as one, I feel like Bobby Green's going to be Bobby Green. It's going to be a close fight. It's not even going to be like he's going to get washed out. It's probably be a real close fight. Probably be another split decision. But again, Fiziev's going to be the one pressing. Be landing heavy kicks on the leg going against the boxer. Landing switch kicks to the body. Trying to catch, like, through switch stances and angle changes and try to catch Bobby Green, like, with his hands down, leaning and turning and try to, turn him, like, force his turns and try to land clean shots on leaning Bobby Green. So I feel like Fiziev will be able to capitalize on some mistakes that, or at least opportunities and angles that other people can't capitalize on. Just the level of striker that Fiziev is. But I'm saying all this to say it's like very easy to say that Rafael Fiziev is going to win based off being the more aggressive fighter, being the present fight. Still a very close fight. Very close. But Fiziev's going to land more shots, land the heavier shots. Matter of fact, I feel like Bobby Green, going to land more shots, but Fiziev's going to land the heavier shots. And he's going to be the pressing fighter. Then he's going to land the fights the shots that's going to be in the highlight reels. Whereas Bobby Green going to land some clean shots, but not with the most power and not as clean. So in this one, I got Rafael Fiziev via decision. Now to our next fight. We have our first fight on the main card in the bantamweight division, Yadong Song versus Casey Kenney. And how I see this fight right here is I feel like Yadong Song probably will have a wrestling advantage, but I feel like Casey Kenney, I said wrestling advantage, striking advantage. Please don't ever listen to that. Like, stop listening to me for good right there. I just said Yadong Song gonna have the wrestling advantage over Casey Kenney. Yadong Song gonna have the striking advantage, I feel, over Casey Kenney, but Casey Kenney's gonna have the wrestling and grappling advantage even more so than Song gonna have in striking. Song will have a clear advantage in power on the feet, but Kenney will have a clear advantage in grappling in this one, I feel. Yes, Song is working on stuff, but I feel like Kenney work rate will be a bigger factor, a big factor. His wrestling will be a bigger factor. So volume on the feet, wrestling, and blending it all together. I feel like he'll be the better mixed martial artist out there and be able to chain everything together and, keep Song reacting, keep Song honest. Just mix it up, throw the volume out there, level change, score takedowns. And I think he beats him to a clear-cut decision. So in this one, I got Casey Kenney via decision. Now to our next fight. We have our first fight on the main card in the bantamweight division, Yadong Song versus Casey Kenney. And how I see this fight right here is I feel like Yadong Song probably will have a wrestling advantage, but I feel like Casey Kenney, I said wrestling advantage, striking advantage. Please don't ever listen to that. Like, stop listening to me for good right there. I just said Yadong Song gonna have the wrestling advantage over Casey Kenney. Yadong Song gonna have the striking advantage, I feel, over Casey Kenney, but Casey Kenney's gonna have the wrestling and grappling advantage even more so than Song gonna have in striking. Song will have a clear advantage in power on the feet, but Kenney will have a clear advantage in grappling in this one, I feel. Yes, Song is working on stuff, but I feel like Kenney work rate will be a bigger factor, a big factor. His wrestling will be a bigger factor. So volume on the feet, wrestling, and blending it all together. I feel like he'll be the better mixed martial artist out there and be able to chain everything together And keep Song reacting, keep Song honest. Just mix it up, throw the volume out there, level change, score takedowns, and I think he beats him to a clear-cut decision. So in this one, I got Casey Kenney via decision. Now on to our next fight. We have in the women's strawweight division, Tecia Torres versus Angela Hill 2. And how I see this matchup going is Tecia Torres won the first fight, and pretty convincingly. It wasn't all that competitive, but despite Tecia Torres being able to take her down and control her and, being able to mix it up against Angela Hill in the first fight, Angela Hill still was relatively close in the striking total and striking differential. And the fight was heavily won off Tecia Torres being able to take it to the other level or mix it up and score those takedowns. But that was against a much greener and rawer talent Angela Hill. Now I feel since then, Angela Hill has made leaps and improvements in her skill set, and definitely her wrestling offense and especially her wrestling defense. And Tecia Torres, stat wise, is not the greatest wrestler. She might attempt less than one take. She will score less than one takedown a fight. She might attempt more, but even then, she's not a fighter that's necessarily going out there and attempting takedowns all that heavily. And her average takedown percentage per fight is .68. So she averages less than a takedown over 15 minutes, over 3 rounds. So that's not the greatest. Then Angela Hill will have 2 inches of height and 4 to 5 inches of reach over her. I feel like Angela Hill is a cleaner striker. Tecia Torres does have her explosive moment, she can explode in, and she is looking much better. But when you look at the competition she beat a wrestler, a raw wrestler, and she beat a fighter that just not nowhere near the caliber of her or Angela Hill or anybody that those two have fought. So she hasn't really fought the best competitor, but she is getting her confidence back, and that's a good thing. She's looking sharp, looking like her old self. But I feel like Angela Hill has made the more significant improvements. And I feel like she'll be able to use that height, use that reach, be able to tag her from a distance, tag her on the inside, use the clinch when she gets in on the inside, and tries to crowd her space to land some elbows, land some knees. So making it not as comfortable as far as Tecia Torres can find comfort in being on the inside, and trying to explode and land shots, exit with the kicks or in combination on kicks, or try to explode in and level change, but not be met with counters, be met with knees, met with elbows, met with the Muay Thai plum. It's not gonna be the most comfortable position for her. Then the clinch, Angela Hill has worked a lot on the clinch, and I think she's way, way better in the clinch. And also, just by her height and size over Torres, her clinch will be even better. Now she have a shorter fighter. Muay Thai plum will work much better. And she'll have the leverage in that position. And I think that's going to be a big factor in this fight. The improvements in wrestling. And I think once you start blending it all together, I think she'll be able to get advantages in the grappling. From her striking, when she starts landing clean shots, start to pepper. Just like they said, when you start landing shots on somebody, everybody got a game plan today to get hit. You dropping that IQ every single time you hit them. You dropping that. You taking away from the energy. You taking away from their brain cells. You taking away. You chipping that way at them. I think that's gonna be the case. I'm not saying Hill would dominate her. I'm not saying Hill would just outclass her. I'm still saying this is a close fight, but I feel like Hill has made the bigger advantages, and I feel like she'll be able to utilize her height and utilize her reach and utilize her natural advantages over Torres. Torres will have her probably still be the stronger woman, still be a little bit more explosive, like little Speedy Gonzalez on her, but I feel like Hill will be able to put a blanket on it in a way. So in this one, I have Angela Hill via decision. Now to our next fight we have in the welterweight division, Vicente Luque versus Michael Chiesa. And how I see this fight going right here is very toss-up fight right here. It could go either way. It could definitely go either way, but I'm leaning to Chiesa in this one, and I'm picking Chiesa in this one. I feel like Luque definitely has some solid jiu-jitsu. Wrestling has been an issue for him in the past a couple times, but since then, you haven't really seen his wrestling tested too much. You've seen Willie try to take him down a couple times, struggled. But you've seen other times, like Randy Brown, able to just get that body lock and just slam him on the ground. Like, they didn't look not a good look. See Nico Price be able to scoop up and slam him. See Mike Perry be able to take advantage of Luque attempted a submission, was able to hold him on the ground for top control him for 3 minutes of that final round. So you've seen different opportunities where Luque has shown issues and shown some grappling deficiencies. But I feel like Chiesa is by far the best wrestler that, as far as wrestler, grappler, overall package grappler that Luque will have ever faced in his career. And I feel like he has not really truly addressed that area in his game. And I feel like Chiesa is getting much more confident on the striking, though he should not really try to look to strike with Luque too much. I feel like he can find success there. it's not going to be too hard to hit Luque. Luque is not a hard guy to hit. It's like he's typically a guy that does not have the best defense. So Chiesa should be able to land good shots. And another thing where I'm looking with Luque is I see that, yes, he got some decent submission. Got that good Doris, good guillotine, good anaconda choke. You know, he got those real good front chokes. Off his back, he's not all the great. I mean, he's a solid BJJ practitioner and whatnot, but off his back at this level against Chiesa, he's not that big a threat off his back until proven otherwise. So his best chance to really have real great grappling success against Chiesa is all by hurting him first. Whether it be hurting him and then starting to score some takedowns, or be case of hurting Chiesa to force him to panic wrestle, then snapping on the anaconda, or snapping on the guillotine, or snapping on the Doris. But more so, it's really Doris and anacondas, not the guillotine for Luque. But if I really see this when I try to draw for who to lean to in this fight, I can only really truly draw to Chiesa. Because most of Chiesa, well, all of Chiesa's losses are at lightweight, when he had to drain and suck down. So you can't say his body is still a weak point for him, because that was largely due to his weight cut. And then we haven't really seen the same thing. He's been able to take body shots better at welterweight. He's not trying to be this big 6'9" guy at lightweight no more. He's in a much better weight class for his weight, and he's growing into the weight class and not struggling, not draining himself, not depleting himself. So it's not there as much anymore. Luque would certainly be the guy to test it, or could test it, but I don't think Luque really digs to the body that much that often. And I feel like I would want Luque to probably try to go for like, I'd say 30 plus body shots. Not telegraph it, but slipping those 30 plus body shots, especially when kids are trying to enter, land some body shots, sneak them in there. 30 plus body shots, as many as you need to get the fight done. 30 plus, but as many as you need to get. If you get it done in 2 or 10, but I would want more body shots from him against Chiesa. I think it helps in every way. It helps with, like, we already doing shots to the body. Your hands already good. I mean, already in position for underhook. So if somebody try to go for like a double or transition, your hands already low. You can get those hooks and scoop them up from trying to take you down. And then when they try to level change, your shots already there. Like, it was put them in place, freeze them in place. So I feel like body shots will be his ticket to victory, but I feel like he's gonna try. He's definitely gonna throw low kicks. They will have effect, but I feel like that's not the best case for as far as against Chiesa. I think body shots will be his best thing. I'm not saying Chiesa has a weak body anymore, but just in general against wrestlers, body shots are very effective, and I don't think Luque is gonna do it to the degree he needs to get the victory. And what's going with this, I feel like Luque has a path to victory, or at least Chiesa has a path to beating Luque. I feel like everybody has been pretty successful at being able to get body locks on Luque. Whether they've been successful at or not at getting the fight to the ground, they have been successful at getting the body lock on Luque. Whereas when he's pressing too much and they're able to duck under and just get the body lock, or when they throw at least one punch combination, they're able to enter relatively easy without much issue to catch them. Most time when Luque catches opponents and when they're like, just kind of sitting out there a little bit lax, and he's able to catch them when they're lax, or he's able to pick them apart when they're out there hanging on the outside or hanging at mid-range. But if you're in front of him throwing volume, like you see like guys like who definitely aren't the highest caliber fighters, like Brian Barberena. Barberena is a solid fighter, but you would definitely not say this guy's exceptional or anything. He could give some good guys some work, but he himself is not exceptional. And he's just a volume fighter, in your face, annoying type fighter. That's what Brian Barberena is. And Barberena was able to fight him to a close decision. I mean, he lost to Barberena lost the fight, but still was able to be competitive, not the cleanest technique, just being active. And Chiesa could do similar things. I'm saying Chiesa going to go out there and look like Brian Barberena, but the fact that Luque, when you're active on him, it's not like you have the greatest stuff to worry about. Like when you're active in his face and not allowing him to pick you apart from outside, you got some good work. And then I feel like Chiesa can be active. His activity isn't that high, but main thing again, it's not necessarily the activity, it's that body lock. And I feel like Chiesa, that's one of his better areas, and that's an area where Luque is weak at in wrestling. And also his wrestling, one of his weaker areas. Probably out of all his skills, is his weakest area. So I feel like Chiesa can throw some value, mixing the body lock, and not even in the case where he's just trying to muzzle him to the ground, but finding nice little trips, nice little setups and level changes and multi-shot wrestling and switch from one takedown to the next takedown. Transitional wrestling. I don't know why I'm getting so tongue-tied with this one. But either way, with this one, I've seen opportunities. I see holes in Luque's game, and I feel like Chiesa has what he needs to take advantage of those holes and be able to throw some shots out there. It's also with the confidence in his striking going up, be able to put some shots together, put some punches and kicks together, put some strikes together, get on the inside, hang on Luque, drag Luque down, and just really wear on him. And not a case of trying to just go out there, go for the explosive takedowns, but fight a smart fight, a smart game plan, and be able to grind a decision out over Luque. So in this one, I have Michael Chiesa via decision. Now to our next fight we have in our co-main event in the bantamweight division, Jose Aldo versus Pedro Munhoz. And how I see this fight going right here is, I think Pedro Munhoz is a solid fighter, but he got T-Rex arms and he'll be giving up an inch of height. So I think Aldo has 5 inches of reach over him and 1 inch of height over him, and they're the same exact age. Even though Aldo has a lot more mileage and has already, accomplished everything that you can accomplish in this sport, and still one of the greatest fighters in MMA history. Still rate him as the greatest featherweight of all time, and probably still top 10. Matter of fact, he is top 10 without a doubt, pound for pound all time. So he got his legacy in the books, and I don't know what he's doing right now. I guess he's just trying to make some more money or whatnot. So you can definitely say the hunger is on Pedro Munhoz's side, but maybe Aldo will disagree. But all that being said, I'm not focusing too much on that. I think style-wise, I think Aldo just has everything to beat Munhoz. I think he's quicker than him. I think he's sharper, better reflex, better fight IQ. As far as Munhoz's kicks and like Muay Thai, his 8 limbs and all that stuff, he's definitely very dangerous. He's definitely a guy that's going to, you're not going to be in a fight with him and be comfortable. Everything this guy does is going to hurt and it's going to linger. It's like digging to you. You're going to feel like you got sharp needles and everything. His kicks probably going to feel like you're getting stabbed in your legs. Like this man, just fighting this guy is just painful just from like looking at it and watching. Like this fight in Munhoz is a very painful fight, but Aldo's been training in Muay Thai. He has very good leg kicks, very good at avoiding leg kicks, and then throwing his own leg kicks. So then with his jab, he don't really have to stay in the inside as much with Munhoz. It's not like he got short arms or he like a short fighter like Frank Edgar where they're the same height and they got the same reach, and he has to, move within his ranges. Like Aldo could fight to his range, and I had to deal with going in the inside and fighting with T-Rex arms. He could just stick a jab in there and make T-Rex have to walk to him or come past that jab. And he could really play with the range, and like he got a little bit more to work with. He got more room to work with due to his reach, due to his speed, due to his reflexes, due to his timing, his kicks as well. And I just feel like I said, it basically comes down to he's longer, faster, sharper, better reflex, better experience, better fight IQ. Grappling wise, Munhoz might have more submissions in the UFC in his career, but Aldo's more than savvy enough to grapple with Munhoz, probably out-wrestle Munhoz. I'm not saying he can go out there. Munhoz has some real solid takedowns. So I'm not saying go out there, be blast double-legging him and have like 10 takedowns or even 1 takedown. It might be a case of if Munhoz tries to take it down, I feel like Aldo will get the better of the scramble, get better of the wrestling, and be able to nullify his wrestling, or be able to slip a takedown in a very close round or close fight and be able to edge a decision over Munhoz. But either way, I think Aldo has all the tools for Munhoz and is more than prepared for Munhoz. I don't think Munhoz presents anything necessarily new for him. The best thing Munhoz could do is just go out there and fight a gritty fight and look to make Aldo work, tire him, and maybe get a stoppage or just outwork, outpace him. That's his best attempt. But outside of that, I just feel like Aldo is just better in every area and more than prepared to beat Munhoz. So in this one, I have Jose Aldo via decision. Now to our main event, we have in the heavyweight division, Derrick Lewis versus Ciryl Gane. And how I see this fight going. So first off, again, I'm going to say put respect on Derrick Lewis' name. I'm not picking him, but put respect on his name. Stop saying, he ain't beat nobody good. He ain't beat this. He ain't beat that. So who else left do he have to beat in the division? He ain't beat Cormier. Cormier retired. It is what it is. He ain't beat Stephen Miocic. Hasn't fought Stephen Miocic. If he lost him, beat him or whatnot. But all I'm trying to say is, the man knocked out Volkov. He knocked out Curtis Blades. He beat Ivanov. He beat Sergey Oleinik and some other good fighters and Travis Brown and whatnot. But the main ones that stick out is Curtis Blades and Alexander Volkov. You could say, he beat Ngannou too. So you can say all you want to say and say he ain't beat this person, he ain't beat that, or he ain't beat nobody good. But he literally beat pretty much every relevant heavyweight there is right now that's actually ranked. You can try to say, this guy's coming up, he ain't beat him, he ain't beat that person. But literally every heavyweight that's in the title picture right now, he has beat outside of like Miocic and Gane. Like literally outside of Miocic and Gane, anyone that's like near a title shot, he has beat all of them except Miocic and Gane. That's the only people he have not beat. So put respect on them. I'm not picking him to win, but put respect on the name. Stop saying he ain't beat nobody. He knocked out Volkov. And I know a lot of y'all be high on Volkov. He knocked Volkov out. I picked Volkov to win that fight, but he knocked him out. So you can't say this. I picked Curtis Blades to beat him. He knocked Curtis Blades out. So what? Like, stop trying to disrespect the man. Give the man all his respect. He out there fighting, and y'all can say, "Oh, the Ngannou fight was this, and Ngannou fight was that." But how about you go out there and fight Ngannou for 15 minutes and like try to live, let alone win? Like, so get the man his props. He's a good heavyweight. He's a top tier heavyweight. Give him all his credentials. But again, I'm picking to lose. But how I see this fight going is, I feel like Curtis Blade, like not Curtis Blade. I feel like Derek Lewis in this fight is very much in this fight and definitely very much has opportunities to win this fight. This is a very close fight in a way. I mean, not close fight, but it's a very, like I said, any fight in heavyweight is dangerous, especially when you got Derek Lewis, and that man can explode at any time and catch you lacking. And Ciryl Gane stylistically does have a fighting style that typically favors decisions, at least against the higher tier competition. And with Derek Lewis, he has not lost a decision fight in his UFC career. So if you let him stick around, he will knock you out. Volkov did all that work, but he knocked Volkov out. He had Curtis Blade got knocked out. And like, he'll either win decisions or he'll knock you out. That's pretty much the case. So typically he does not lose decisions. That's just the case. But so that's a concern as far as Ciryl Gane, kind of out there playing the decisions type of style. But I'm gonna pick Ciryl Gane to win via TKO in this one. I think I don't know if he's gonna play too much and feel like he had to win a decision. Ciryl Gane is a much more defensive fighter than literally all the heavyweights out there, maybe all the heavyweights in MMA history. He's more defensive than all of them. Better defense, better defensive minded. Fights very smart, very light on his toes, mixes up very well. It doesn't give his opponents very much opportunity to hit him, or hit him with the clean and flush with nothing powerful. So it's also he's a different heavyweight. So even if it might be a case of Derek Lewis knocking all these other heavyweights out, they keep him around too long. He's not other heavyweights. That's one thing I would give him props for that. But again, all respect to Derek Lewis. But I feel like Gane will win this fight decision or stoppage, but I'm leaning to the stoppage. I'm feeling like he's going to come out here looking to put a statement on, but still not go out there looking to fight like a slugfest. We're going to fight smart and try to break Derek Lewis down, and I feel like it's going to be heavy body kicks and heavy leg kicks. I feel like Derek Lewis' body has been a noticeable weak area on him, and the legs have been a noticeable weakness. And also with how Derek Lewis likes to explode and cover a lot of range with that overhand or with that big bomb, that big right hand. Like, he's like to cover a lot of distance and explode on you. I feel like even before fighting Derek Lewis, Ciryl Gane has a very good check low kick, like a little counter low kick. So I feel like he's going to be able to bait Derek Lewis and draw out his counters or draw out that right hand and then be able to check low kick him and kick him off balance and really start to tear up that knee a bit. So Derek Lewis not going to be able to plant as much off that knee and be worn out. And then while he getting worried about leg kicks, be able to bring it up and land big heavy body kicks, get him curled over, and not get not crowded space to the point where you could walk into that Derek Lewis, hunch over, and then run you right into his right hand. But be able to walk in, feint, draw it out, step off, and continue land combinations on him. Be a dig onto him. Be able to break him up over the course of 3-4 rounds. Then eventually, that leg starts to become compromised from all the check low kicks and the leg kicks, and also now his body gonna be beat up from those twisted body kicks and the body shots. And he's going to start having a labored, worn down Derek Lewis over the course of those 3 to 4 rounds. That nigga, the 4th round, he's going to be limping and barely be able to stand up on the leg. Derek Lewis going to hit him, have him just hunched over, not really be able to do much. Not said Derek Lewis, but Ciryl Gane going to have him pretty much just on a board in the ocean, not really have him be this, be compromised. Going to be to hurt him to the body, hurt him to the leg, and over the course of those rounds, he's going to just be over there just in pure defensive mode after that point. And then Gane's going to enter carefully, work his way in behind punches, but clean and maintain his distance, and just be able to finish him off, volley of punches, and be able to get him out of there in the 4th round. So in this one, I have Ciryl Gane via 4th round TKO. And that concludes my fight predictions for the 4-Carter fights for UFC 265, Lewis versus Gane. And as always, thanks for watching.